As promised, the principal of Shanghai High visits Lin Zichen's home. She, his mother, and Shen Qing'an discuss his future for several hours, with the principal expressing how much she wants him to stay at her school. As the meeting concludes, the principal stands to leave. As a final offer, she tells Lin Zichen that if he agrees to stay, she will grant any request he has. Taking the opportunity, Lin Zichen states his one condition. Shen Qinghan must be allowed to continue in the same class with him. The principal looks at the nervous Shen Qinghan and confirms her name. Without hesitation, she agrees. With a smile, she tells them both to report to Shanghai High together for the new school year. Overjoyed, Lin Zichen and Shen Qinghan thank her. With their high school future secured, Lin Zichen participates in his final junior high martial arts tournament. As expected, his overwhelming power easily leads his team to another championship. He decides to use the prize money to finally unlock the Ghost Shadow Squid Codex. He was only 20% away, and the new prize money was enough to max out the progress bar. Unsure what might happen, he travels to a secluded forest outside Shanghai for safety. Deciding not to waste time, he begins devouring the life essence from the last of the squid meat. A powerful blue energy surrounds him as a system notification confirms he is absorbing a large amount of essence. His eyes widen as he feels a final surge of power, and the Codex progress bar hits 100%. A new notification announces he has unlocked the Ghost Shadow Squid Codex and obtained a new biological attribute, Blessing of Liquid Affinity. The ability enhances his affinity with water, allowing him to move freely and even vanish in aquatic environments. However, as the power settles, he stands in the quiet forest holding the limp squid tentacles and feels his new ability is kinda underwhelming. Still feeling underwhelmed, Lin Zichen tests his new ability in a nearby pond. He finds his Blessing of Liquid Affinity has some benefits. He can soak for long periods without his skin wrinkling, and swimming is much easier with reduced water resistance. However, there are no other noticeable effects. He sits in the water and rationalizes that since the Ghost Shadow Squid is a low-tier beast, it's fair the ability isn't very powerful. He resolves that to get better attributes, he will either have to save up for higher-grade beast meat or become strong enough to hunt powerful wild mutant beasts himself. The memory of the terrifying giant mutant rats strengthens his resolve, and he clenches his fist, determined to grow stronger. With less than a week before school begins, Lin Zichen's mother and Shen Qinghan's family decide to go on a trip. To better study his new liquid affinity, Lin Zichen suggests they go to the beach. As they stand in the ocean, Shen Qinghan shivers and complains the seawater is cold. Lin Zichen, however, feels perfectly at home. He tells her to ease into it, and then dives into the water, swimming with incredible speed. As he moves, his system rewards him with stat points for swimming and diving. From the shore, a nervous Shen Qinghan calls out, asking him to teach her how to swim. Lin Zichen pops his head out of the water, suddenly remembering his childhood friend doesn't know how yet. He begins patiently teaching her the basics. Given her average athletic talent, he assumes she will struggle. However, Shen Qing'an proves him wrong. She excitedly exclaims that swimming is surprisingly easy and that she learned it right away, diving effortlessly. She swims gracefully and surfaces with a look of shock, surprised she can dive without any instruction. Lin Zichen watches in shock as a strange blue aura of water seems to emanate from her. After she surfaces, she excitedly tells him how amazing it feels. She notes that while opening one's eyes underwater usually stings, she feels no discomfort. In fact, she finds it cool and pleasant. Her words leave Lin Zichen deep in thought. He watches her swim away, finding the situation unusual. He reasons that even with a natural talent for water, there's no way she could have mastered all the skills so instantly. Her rapid learning is simply not normal. Suddenly, a realization dawns on him. He recalls her lifelong problem with bedwetting when nervous. He wonders if this weakness is actually a sign of a powerful, innate water affinity she was born with. The idea excites him. He becomes convinced she might possess some kind of special cultivation body, like a character from his parents' Xianxia novels. To test his theory, they continue diving. Her performance shocks him even more as they explore the underwater world. He notes they have been holding their breath for over 10 minutes, an incredible feat for a beginner like Shen Qinghan. As they swim, Shen Qinghan's expression suddenly changes. A strange, swirling sound begins to vibrate through the water around her. Both look up, trying to find the source. They surface abruptly, and Shen Qinghan cries out as the glowing blue water swirls around her. Later that night, as they walk along the beach, Lin Zichen asks what happened. Shivering, she explains that underwater, she kept hearing strange and creepy sounds right by her ear. He comforts her and asks what kind of sounds. She tells him she couldn't understand the language, but it was a female voice that echoed non-stop until she surfaced. To help a frightened Shen Qinghan calm down, Lin Zichen brings her back to their hotel room. Later, he searches online for information about the strange female voice, but finds no results. Unsettled and unable to sleep, he uses his restless energy to train. As he performs 1,000 weighted sit-ups, he feels a sudden surge of power. A system notification announces his hard work has paid off. He has advanced to ordinary Tier 5. Surprised but pleased, he considers his new strength. He realizes that at Tier 5, he is powerful enough to rival a fully grown giant mutant rat. A determined glint appears in his eyes as he clenches his fist, confident that tearing the beasts apart with his bare hands is no longer impossible. Eager to test his new limits, he goes to the empty beach at night. The stat boost is immense. His 100-meter dash time has dropped to a mere 3.64 seconds, and his vertical jump has increased to an incredible 6.98 meters. To test his strength, he finds a nearby car and discovers he can now lift the 1,600-kilogram vehicle with one hand. With this new progress, his life moves forward. The vacation ends, and he and Shen Qinghan begin high school at Shanghai High. On their first day, they arrive early for class duty. Two new female classmates immediately recognize him, whispering excitedly about how handsome he is and how lucky they are to be on duty with him. While he is surprised his classmates know him, something even more unexpected happens. Simply performing class duty triggers a new system quest. The achievement requires completing 1,000 cooperative tasks for a new biological attribute, social animal. As he cleans the classroom with Shen Qinghan, he wonders what this new attribute will do. Since the school year has just begun, he takes the opportunity to visit the Mammoth supermarket after school. Now that he has unlocked the Ghost Shadow Squid Codex, he knows it's time to choose a new target for his ability. As he browses the expensive beast meat section, his eyes lock onto a new item. In one of the refrigerated cases is the packaged head of a savage giant eagle, priced at 1998 yuan per jin. An eager grin spreads across his face as he picks up the package, making his decision. This will be his next target. The savage giant eagle is a higher-tier aberrant beast than the ghost shadow squid. It has incredibly powerful vision, 30 times stronger than a normal human's, making it a formidable hunter that can precisely capture even the fastest prey. Back in his room, Lin Zichen examines the eagle meat. He concludes that unlocking its guidebook is a worthy goal, as its enhanced vision would provide a massive combat advantage. He also notes its price of 1,998 yuan per jin makes it one of the more affordable options. He places his hand on the meat, and a blue energy surrounds him as his system confirms he has devoured a trace of the savage giant eagle's life essence, unlocking 1% of its guidebook. After some calculations, he realizes that since 1 jin of meat provides only 1% progress, he will need to spend over 200,000 yuan to fully unlock the guidebook. He understands that high school tournament prize money is much higher than in middle school. With renewed determination, he decides he must work harder in competitions to earn the money to unlock the Savage Giant Eagle's codex before his second year. With the end of summer vacation, Lin Zichen's high school life at Shanghai High begins. On the first day, the teachers introduce themselves: the martial arts and homeroom teacher, the mechanical modification teacher, the gene fusion teacher, and the wilderness survival teacher. After their introductions, they ask the students to introduce themselves. Several students go first. A girl with long purple hair, Chu Yutong, says her specialty is in the arts. She is followed by an energetic pink-haired girl, Zhong Yijia, who shares her love for anime, cosplay, and sports. Next, a boy named Peng Huoguang says he likes to play video games at home. Soon, it is Shen Qinghan's turn. Being the center of attention makes her extremely nervous. With a blushing face, she manages to say her name is Shen Qinghan, that she enjoys drawing, and asks everyone for their future guidance. Finally, it is Lin Zichen's turn. His introduction is the shortest and most direct. He simply stands and states his name, asking for everyone's support. After introductions, time passes quickly. A new female classmate with brown hair approaches Shen Qinghan, who looks surprised. The girl asks Shen Qinghan for her entrance exam score. Shen Qinghan nervously replies that she scored 709 points, and then asks the new girl, Chu Rui, for her score. Chu Rui is impressed, exclaiming that Shen Qinghan's score is more than 10 points higher than her own 698. Chu Rui then asks about the physical fitness portion, admitting she only scored 95 out of 100. This question makes Shen Qinghan extremely uncomfortable. She stammers that her score wasn't as good, internally panicking because her score of 79 was so low she almost didn't make it into the elite class and feels too embarrassed to say it out loud. Not getting the hint, the persistent Chu Rui continues to guess if Shen Qing'an scored 94 or 93. Shen Qing'an, looking down in shame, quietly tells her it was even lower. Chu Rui continues guessing scores in the low 90s, making Shen Qing'an even more flustered. Suddenly, a hand slams down on the desk between them, startling Chu Rui. It's Lin Zichen. He smoothly leans in and asks the flustered girl if he can add her on WeChat. Surprised and thrilled that a handsome boy is giving her attention, she eagerly agrees. From her seat, Shen Qing'an breathes a sigh of relief, grateful that Lin Zichen saved her from the awkward conversation. Lin Zichen then turns to another male classmate, Yu, and also asks to exchange contact information. After adding them, he creates a 4-person group chat. A system notification immediately confirms he has successfully created a group, completing another cooperative task. His progress for the social animal achievement is now at 2 out of 1,000. He reflects that this quest is surprisingly easy. After creating the group chat, the 4 new friends start to get to know each other. Yu reveals he is from the neighboring Nanyuan city and comes from a prestigious martial arts family that runs a dojo. He even proudly mentions placing 8th in the Nanyuan City Youth Martial Arts competition. Chu Rui shares that her family owns a chain of clothing stores, making her wealthy. After Lin Zichen and Shen Qinghan also share their backgrounds, the 4 quickly become a close-knit group. Just as they are getting comfortable, Yu asks the others to guess who the strongest student in their class is. Chu Rui immediately points to Lin Zichen, guessing it must be him since he was the top scorer on the entrance exam for their entire district. This shocks Yu, who had no idea his new friend was so accomplished. However, Lin Zichen humbly suggests that being the top scorer doesn't necessarily make someone the strongest. He reveals a surprising fact. The principal had spent a lot of money to recruit 2 exceptionally powerful students from Nanyuan City for their class. Yu then points out the 2 students. The first is a boy with blonde hair, Wang Shuojie, the 3rd-ranked student in Nanyuan City, who can run the 100-meter dash in 7.98 seconds. The second is a large, muscular boy, Lu Gang, who has immense natural strength and can easily lift a 300-kilogram barbell with one hand. Shen Qinghan and Chu Rui are both visibly impressed and intimidated. Lin Zichen, on the other hand, remains completely calm. Internally, he scoffs at their achievements, knowing he had surpassed those numbers back in elementary school. Soon, the bell rings again, and the next class is for distributing textbooks. There are 4 main subjects for the semester: martial arts, gene fusion, mechanical modification, and wilderness survival. Since Lin Zichen had already self-studied all the material, he decides to use the free time to find a secluded spot to train. As he trains, his thoughts turn to the larger threats. He remembers the dangerous rat god cult is still active. The police have only captured some lower-level heretics, but the powerful Rat King, their leader, remains at large. This grim reality fuels his determination. He clenches his fist, resolving to increase his power as quickly as possible and reach at least Tier 6, a level he believes will be strong enough to confront even the Rat King. The first practical class is Wilderness Survival. The teacher, Xu Chungbei, gathers the students in a wooded area and asks if any know how to make a fire by drilling wood. Yu mutters, "It's a useless skill." To everyone's surprise, both Wang Shuojie and Lu Gang step forward and successfully start fires using the primitive method. The teacher is impressed and asks how they learned. Lu Gang explains he learned at a summer camp, while Wang Shuojie says he taught himself by watching videos online. After they are done, Lin Zichen easily teaches the same technique to his own small group, and they quickly master it. Later, in martial arts class, the teacher, Yao Yuanfeng, announces he will teach them a special breathing and cultivation technique. Once again, Wang Shuojie and Lu Gang loudly declare they have already learned it, showing off for the class. Though their demonstration is a bit clumsy, they manage. Lin Zichen, who already knows these skills, decides to maintain his low profile. In this way, over a month passes uneventfully. One day in mechanical modification class, the teacher, Kai Yuanfei, announces a test to check their progress. To motivate them, he reveals cash prizes for the top 3, 888 yuan for first, 666 for second, and 333 for third. Lin Zichen's eyes light up when he hears about the prize money, realizing the first-place reward is almost enough to buy half a jin of the expensive savage giant eagle meat. With everyone motivated, the class begins the exam. Coincidentally, the gene fusion teacher, Liu Duren, has the same idea and also springs a surprise exam with the same prize structure. After the 2 difficult exams, the students are drained. Yu collapses onto his desk, groaning. The other students complain about how difficult the questions were. One girl laments that she was hoping for a 90, but would be lucky to get a passing grade of 60. While everyone else complains, Wang Shoujie and Lu Gong begin to casually brag. Lu Gong asks Wang Shoujie how he did. Wang Shoujie confidently replies that he should score a 95, as he only struggled with the last part of the final question. Lu Gong nonchalantly agrees, stating he is in the same boat and also expects a 95. Listening to their arrogant exchange, Yu glares at them, clenching his fists in fury and thinking about how badly he wants to punch them. The teacher announces the results of the mechanical augmentation test. He reads the scores, revealing that Guo Yunling received 52 points, while Shen Qinghan passed with 61. Shen Qinghan excitedly tells Lin Zichen she passed, and he congratulates her on her hard work. The teacher continues, announcing, Yu scored an impressive 88 points. His friends praise him, and he humbly replies he was just lucky, promising to treat them to a meal with his third-place prize of 333 yuan. Next, the teacher confirms Lu Gang and Wang Shuojie both scored 95 just as they predicted, complimenting them for being only 1 question away from a perfect score. Wang Shuojie confidently claims that with 10 more minutes, he could have solved the final problem, and Lu Gang agrees. Listening to them brag, Yu is frustrated, but comforts himself with the thought that 3rd place is still his. However, the teacher then reveals a shocking result. Despite the test's difficulty, 1 student achieved a perfect score, Lin Zichen with 100 points. Wang Shuojie and Lu Gang are stunned, shouting the result is absurd. The rest of the class erupts in cheers. Even a defeated Yu joins in, recognizing Lin Zichen is on another level. Shen Qinghan and Chu Rui celebrate his victory as the glory of Shanghai. Ignoring the praise, Lin Zichen's focus is on the prize. He raises his hand and asks Teacher Kai when the 888 yuan prize for 1st place will be distributed. The teacher promises to send it later, internally finding Lin Zichen's intense focus on money strange. An hour later, the gene fusion exam results are announced. The teacher, Kai Yuanfei, reads the scores. This time, the non-Yuan duo did not perform as well. Lu Gang scored 81 and Wang Shuojie 83. Though still good scores, they are clearly disappointed. In contrast, Shen Qinghan achieves an excellent 78, placing her in the top 5, and she celebrates with Chu Rui. To the shock of his classmates, Lin Zichen once again secures a perfect score, effortlessly winning another prize. This second crushing victory deals a huge blow to the confidence of Yu, Wang Shuojie, and Lu Gang, who are left demoralized. Unable to accept their defeat, Wang Shuojie and Lu Gang question how anyone could get full marks on such a difficult test, openly suggesting Lin Zichen must have known the answers in advance. The teacher, Kai Yuanfei, immediately shuts down their accusation, stating firmly that it is impossible. He explains that he personally designed every question, and the answers are not available online, making cheating impossible. The 2 are left speechless. Their classmates are not so kind. Yu and Chu Rui laugh, mocking Wang Shuojie and Lu Gang for being sore losers. Yu calls them a disgrace to Nanyuan City, and Chu Rui adds that uncultured, ugly people always cause the most trouble. After lunch, the practical exam for wilderness survival begins. The teacher, Shi Chengbei, explains the rewards are the same, with cash prizes for the top 3. The exam has 3 parts: climbing, swimming, and making fire by friction. Having been beaten in the academic tests, Wang Shuojie tells Lu Gang they must redeem themselves in the practical exams. Lu Gang agrees, and both glare at Lin Zichen, vowing to crush him and wash away their shame. The exam begins with climbing, where speed determines the winner. As expected, Lin Zichen's superior physical abilities allow him to easily dominate. He scales the rock wall with incredible speed, leaving the Nanyuan duo far behind to secure 1st place. The tree climbing event ends the same. Lin Zichen again takes first, while a defeated Wang Shuojie complains he couldn't even see his shadow. While Lin Zichen excels, he notes his real concern is for Shen Qinghan. As he expected, she struggles with the climbing and finishes last. However, he isn't worried, knowing her true talent is in the water and confident she will regain her confidence during the swimming segment. Next is the fire-starting segment. With his eyes on the prize money, Lin Zichen knows he must continue to crush the Nanyuan duo. He starts the task with intense focus and speed, successfully creating a fire in just 58 seconds. Wang Shuojie and Lu Gang watch in utter disbelief, wondering how he can be so fast at everything, bewildered by his insane hand speed. The final part of the wilderness survival exam was swimming. This time it was Shen Qinghan's turn to shine. Tapping into her natural affinity for water, she swam with incredible speed, easily crushing the Nanyuan duo and delivering another heavy blow to their shattered confidence. Wang Shuojie was left in disbelief, unable to understand how Shen Qinghan could suddenly exhibit such explosive power in the water, concluding he must be hallucinating. After the exam, a defeated Wang Shuojie and Lu Gang were completely silent for a long time. However, their silence only lasted through lunch. In the afternoon, the final exam for martial arts began. The teacher, Yao Yuanfeng, announced it was time to test their progress with a sparring competition. The top 3 would receive prizes, motivating the class. For Wang Shuojie and Lu Gang, this reignited their hope. Filled with determination, they resolved to reclaim their pride. They reasoned this was martial arts class, where physical fitness and combat technique truly mattered. They believed if Lin Zichen was weak in martial arts, his other scores were meaningless. Before sparring, the teacher had everyone do a physical test as a warm-up, measuring their 100-meter sprint, one-hand barbell lift, and vertical jump. Lin Zichen, holding back to avoid being too flashy, still gave an incredible performance. He ran the 100-meter dash in 7.78 seconds and lifted a 330-kilogram barbell with one hand. His vertical jump was 2.18 meters, and he easily took first in all 3 events, making sure to only slightly beat the Nanyuan duo. They were once again left in utter shock. Wang Shuojie couldn't understand how Lin Zichen could be faster, while Lu Gang was baffled by how someone who didn't look muscular could be so strong. Trying to rally, Wang Shuojie reminded Lu Gang that failing the physical test didn't mean they would lose in sparring, as real combat also required technique. They convinced themselves their superior technique gave them a chance. After the test, everyone moved to the dueling area for the sparring matches. Eager to complete his survival of the fittest achievement, Lin Zichen stepped into the ring first. However, after his overwhelming display, no one dared to challenge him. Even Wang Shuojie and Lu Gang held back to observe first. Seeing the stalemate, the teacher intervened. He called out a student named Lu Wei and ordered him to spar with Lin Zichen. The two faced off, but the match was over before it began. To save time, Lin Zichen ended it instantly with a single devastating punch that sent Lu Wei flying. He then speed ran through the rest of his opponents, taking down every student in the class with the same brutal efficiency. Watching this, Wang Shuojie and Lu Gang are left in utter despair. Wang Shuojie realizes with horror that Lin Zichen is far stronger than they imagined, and probably wasn't going all out during the physical test. He wonders how anyone could compete with such a monster. Just as their spirits are crushed, Hiyu suddenly leaps into the ring, shouting Lu Gang's name. He points at Lu Gang, declaring he's warmed up and at his peak, and challenges him to a fight. Eager to vent his frustration, Lu Gang readily accepts. He reasons that while he may not be confident against Lin Zichen, he can certainly defeat Hiyu and vows to flatten him in 30 seconds. With a battle cry, Hiyu rushes forward, and the two clash in a fast exchange of blows. However, the fight is decided by the clear gap in their power. Lu Gang easily catches Hiyu's kick, uses his superior strength to swing him around, and then hurls him out of the ring. Hiyu crashes hard, defeated and vomiting. Standing victoriously, Lu Gang looks down at his defeated classmate. He offers a backhanded compliment, acknowledging Hiyu's physical technique is the best in their class, but smugly concluding that he is still better. After his victory, Lu Gang turns to see Lin Zichen approaching. Lin Zichen calmly issues a challenge for them to spar. Internally, he sees this as a perfect chance to make progress on his achievement quest. Fresh off his win and brimming with confidence, Lu Gang smirks and accepts, declaring he is not afraid. Lu Gang immediately goes on the offensive with a powerful punch. However, the gap in their abilities is apparent. Lin Zichen moves with blinding speed, effortlessly dodging the attack and leaving afterimages. Before Lu Gang can register what happened, Lin Zichen counters with a swift kick. The powerful blow connects squarely with Lu Gang's back, and he is sent flying out of the ring, defeated in a single blow. With both Nanyuan duo members utterly defeated, the other students begin to taunt the last one standing. They shout at Wang Shuojie, asking if he's going to avenge his fallen bro, and telling him the pride of Nanyuan now rests entirely on his shoulders. They jeer, telling him not to chicken out. Annoyed, Wang Shuojie snaps at the crowd to shut up, claiming he was already planning to fight. He rushes into the ring to face Lin Zichen. As he stands before his overwhelmingly powerful opponent, he steels his resolve, telling himself that what is meant to come will come, and he must find a way to defeat him. Determined to win, Wang Shuojie shouts that he's going all out and rushes at Lin Zichen with a furious attack. However, his effort is futile. Lin Zichen effortlessly stops the punch with one hand and counters with a single devastating blow that sends Wang Shuojie flying upside down. He crashes hard onto the gym floor, knocked out and foaming at the mouth, defeated as easily as everyone else. With the Nanyuan duo taken care of, Lin Zishan proceeds to systematically take down the rest of the boys in the class one after another with the same effortless efficiency. After defeating all the male students, he checks his system. He notes that according to the survival of the fittest achievement rules, defeating the same person multiple times only counts once. This means his only remaining opponents in the class are the girls. He wonders if any of them will even be willing to spar with him. To his complete surprise, the girls are more than willing. A crowd of his female classmates gathers, blushing and eagerly making heart gestures, all wanting a chance to fight him. The first to volunteer is Chu Yutong, who excitedly raises her hand and challenges him. She leaps into the ring and attacks with surprising speed and agility. However, Lin Zichen is still on another level. He easily dodges her attack, leaving her to comment on his incredible speed. She gracefully lands, disappointed that she came so close but couldn't even grab him. Unexpectedly, after Chu Yutong's defeat, the other girls also volunteer to challenge him one by one. Of course, Lin Zichen holds back considerably when facing the girls. His main goal isn't to hurt them, but simply to win the official matches and complete his achievement as quickly as possible. Soon, Lin Zichen finishes sparring with all the girls in his class. While he has successfully defeated every student, he is still far from completing his achievement task. He is a bit disappointed, but his mood quickly changes when his teacher, Yao Yuanfeng, suddenly announces some good news. The teacher praises the class and tells them that as elite students, they must learn to challenge those above them. He then announces that in 1 month, their class will challenge the strongest regular class in the second year, and he expects them to be ready. Lin Zichen, who was just feeling frustrated about the lack of opponents to speed up his survival of the fittest achievement, is overjoyed. A new match has been delivered right to his door, a true blessing. After the teacher dismisses the class, a newly humbled Lu Gang approaches Lin Zichen. He admits he had underestimated the school and declares that from now on, he will consider Lin Zichen his rival for the next 3 years. Lin Zichen realizes that with the teacher's plan to constantly challenge other classes, completing his achievement within a year might not be impossible. Wang Shuojie also confronts him, vowing to wash away the humiliation of his defeat before they graduate. Lin Zichen, however, is more focused on the practical benefits. He calculates that he has earned over 3,000 yuan from the exam prizes alone. This excites him, as he can now use this money to buy more beast meat. He clenches his fist, completely ignoring the non-yuan duo, who are left fuming at his arrogant dismissal. That night, back in his room, he considers his financial situation. Although he earned some money from the rewards, it is still far from enough to buy all the beast meat he needs. To earn more money, he decides to follow in his parents' footsteps and registers as a web novel author, beginning his writing journey. Thanks to his celestial root of wisdom, his writing is exceptional. The next morning, he finds a contract invitation from the Yuiwen platform in his messages. After signing the contract, a piece of news from that very day catches his eye. The report is about a terrifying incident just 2 hours ago. A giant mutant rat had attacked a frozen meat-cold storage facility on the outskirts of the city. The news report details the horrific attack. The mutant rat was over 5 meters long and so powerful that it bit a responding cyborg in half. In a final, desperate act, the captured cyborg activated its hidden backup energy core to self-destruct, taking the enemy with it. The resulting explosion was massive, blowing the giant mutant rat to pieces on the spot. Reading the news, Lin Zichen is horrified. He stares at an image of a monstrous rat, wondering with growing dread how many more of these giant mutant rats are hidden in Shanghai City. He also questions where such enormous creatures could possibly be hiding. The day of the sparring session against the strongest regular class of the second year arrives, and the students gather at the Shanghai High Gymnasium. Before the match, the teacher, Yao Yuanfeng, holds a strategy meeting with his top fighters. He warns them that while their top fighters are strong, the opposing class is stronger overall and will likely use defensive tactics to wear them down. He orders them to finish their fights as quickly as possible. The moment the meeting is over, Lin Zichen rushes towards the ring. Eager to defeat as many new opponents as possible to complete his survival of the fittest achievement, he volunteers to go first. His opponent, a tall girl with long blonde hair from the second-year class, steps into the ring. Seeing who she's up against, she immediately complains to her teacher, pointing out that the elite class has sent their strongest fighter out first. She claims she is the weakest student in her own class, and questions how she is supposed to fight him. Hearing this, teacher Yao Yuanfeng storms over to the opposing teacher, an older man he calls Brother Feng. He angrily accuses him of breaking the unspoken rules of class sparring, which dictate that the weakest students should fight first. He demands to know why the other teacher sent his strongest student to fight in the first match. To settle the dispute, teacher Yao orders Lin Zichen down from the stage, telling him he can go later and to let the weaker students go first. Lin Zichen reluctantly agrees and steps down. The teacher then points to Zhong Yijia and tells her to go first, but she is caught off guard and protests that she isn't ready. Seeing an opportunity, Shen Qinghan steps forward. She volunteers to fight, telling teacher Yao that since she is the weakest, she should be the one to go first. Shen Qinghan nervously enters the ring to face the tall blonde girl, clearly intimidated. From the sidelines, her classmates, including Chu Rui and He Yu, begin to cheer loudly, shouting encouragement for their friend, Han Han. However, the sudden pressure only makes Shen Qinghan even more nervous. The match begins, and the blonde girl immediately attacks with a powerful punch, which Shen Qinghan manages to block. Despite being outmatched, Shen Qinghan is determined. She knows she can't win, but resolves to hold on for as long as possible, adopting a purely defensive strategy to drain her opponent's stamina. Her plan proves surprisingly effective. 3 minutes later, the blonde girl is breathing heavily. Surprised by Shen Qinghan's endurance, she realizes that if the fight continues, she will run out of stamina and decides she must finish the match quickly. She rushes forward with a final decisive punch. The blow lands, and Shen Qinghan is knocked to the ground, defeated. As she gets back on her feet, she is visibly embarrassed. The teacher, Yao Yuanfeng, praises her performance. He gives her a thumbs up, telling her she did great and that her defensive strategy was very smart. Lin Zichen also comforts her, patting her head gently. He tells her she did well, lasting over 3 minutes against a senior with an extra year of training, and that she has made big progress. Reassured, Shen Qinghan looks up at him with a happy smile. Following Shen Qinghan's defeat, another female classmate with brown hair from the elite class steps into the ring. Seeing that her senior opponent is running out of stamina after the previous match, she sees an opportunity and rushes in to attack. She throws a powerful kick, but the more experienced senior easily dodges the blow and counters with a swift punch to the face. The brown-haired girl is quickly overpowered and pinned to the ground, where she cries out in pain and is forced to surrender. Standing over her defeated opponent, the senior mockingly asks if she was looking down on the regular class by charging in so recklessly. She continues to taunt the girl, telling her that while she may not have her talent, she has trained for a whole year longer. She dismisses her, telling her to come back and fight again after she's trained for another year. Just then, Chu Rui steps forward. Filled with determination, she declares that she will avenge Shen Qinghan and crush the senior. Chu Rui proves to be a formidable fighter. She easily defeats her senior opponent with a single, powerful punch. From the sidelines, Shen Qinghan cheers enthusiastically, calling out how amazing Chu Rui was. Lin Zichen tells Shen Qinghan that she was amazing too, explaining that Chu Rui's victory was easy only because Shen Qinghan had drained the senior's stamina first. Shen Qinghan smiles happily. 2 hours later, the sparring session continues, and the elite class has evened the score. Teacher Yao Yuanfeng approaches the second-year teacher, Brother Feng, and taunts him, pointing out that his class only has 4 fighters left and that he is confident his class will win the bet. However, he then turns to his students and warns them not to get complacent. He declares that the true strength of their class lies with their 4 top fighters, Lin Zichen, Wang Shuojie, Lu Gong, and He Yu. The real showdown is just beginning. Following his teacher's declaration, He Yu is ordered to go up next. He cracks his knuckles with a determined look and enters the ring with a dramatic, ground-pounding pose. He strikes a fighting stance and theatrically asks his senior opponent if he is prepared to face his fists, which he claims are thirsty for battle. The senior, a boy with brown hair, smirks and tells He Yu not to be so childish and overly dramatic. Annoyed, He Yu immediately attacks with a swift kick, sending the senior crashing to the ground in defeat. Standing over his fallen opponent, He Yu mocks him, questioning where he got the confidence to act so tough with such a low skill level and calling him trash. Just as He Yu celebrates his victory, another, more formidable senior with purple-tinged hair stomps into the ring. He glares at He Yu, calling him arrogant for his taunts. The senior immediately lunges with a powerful punch, vowing to teach his junior opponent some intensity. To the senior's shock, He Yu moves with incredible speed, effortlessly dodging the attack. He Yu then counters with a powerful kick that sends the senior flying, knocking him out. Seeing his impressive victory, Chu Rui and Shen Qinghan erupt in cheers, shouting encouragement for He Yu. Fueled by his success, He Yu goes on an incredible winning streak, defeating several more opponents in quick succession. After taking down 5 consecutive fighters, He Yu stands exhausted, breathing heavily. Despite his fatigue, he puts on a brave face and defiantly shouts for the next opponent, boasting he can still take on 10 more. However, it's clear he is running out of stamina. His impressive run ends when he is defeated by his 6th opponent. With He Yu eliminated, the situation looks dire for the elite class. They are now down to their last 3 fighters, while the second-year class still has 13 members remaining. With He Yu defeated, Wang Shuojie is next. He unleashes his full power, going on an incredible winning streak and single-handedly defeating 10 opponents in a flurry of furious kicks and punches. However, the long series of battles takes its toll. During his 11th match, Wang Shuojie finally runs out of stamina and is defeated. Following him is Lu Gang, who quickly dispatches 2 more of the opposing team's top fighters in less than 10 minutes. With their opponents now down to their last fighter, teacher Yao Yuanfeng smugly suggests that the second-year teacher, Brother Feng, should just surrender. Brother Feng, however, remains unfazed. He smirks and calls forth his final student, Wang Jinhei, telling him it is his turn. A new challenger steps forward, an enormous, overweight student who towers over Lu Gang. Despite his opponent's intimidating size, Lu Gang is not impressed. Dismissing him as just a slightly larger fatty, he rushes into attack, confident he can beat him. He lands a powerful punch on Wang Jinhei's massive belly, but to his shock, the blow has no effect. He feels as if he just punched solid rubber. He tries again, unleashing a rapid barrage of punches, but all his attacks are harmlessly absorbed by his opponent's thick layer of fat. Soon, Lu Gang is left panting and exhausted, realizing his attacks are useless. His opponent, who has not moved an inch, looks down at him with a calm expression. He asks if Lu Gang is finished, because now it is his turn. Before Lu Gang can react, Wang Jinhei grabs him by the neck with incredible strength. With a single, effortless motion, he throws Lu Gang out of the ring, securing the victory and leaving the elite class with only 1 fighter remaining. Stunned by such a powerful fighter, teacher Yao Yuanfeng exclaims that he doesn't remember the second-year class having such a strong student. The opposing teacher, Brother Feng, smirks and explains that Wang Jinhei is a new transfer student who just arrived this semester. He then smugly reminds teacher Yao about their bet, telling him it looks like he is going to lose and will have to buy dinner for the entire opposing class. Realizing he has been tricked by his rival's secret weapon, teacher Yao clenches his fist in frustration, worried that not even Lin Zichen can defeat this monster. Despite his doubts, he puts on a brave face for his last student. He places a hand on Lin Zichen's shoulder and tells him it's his turn, encouraging him to just do his best and not worry too much about winning, as the experience will be valuable. Lin Zichen simply smiles and reassures his teacher that he will win, leaving the man speechless. As Lin Zichen steps into the ring, Wang Jinhei looks down at him, unimpressed. He dismisses his opponent as looking rather weak to be his class's final ace. From the sidelines, Shen Qinghan, Chu Rui, and the other girls from the elite class shout insults at Wang Jinhei, calling him an arrogant fatty and cheering for Lin Zichen to teach the dead pig a lesson. Annoyed by the taunts, Wang Jinhei decides to offer a handicap. He tells Lin Zichen he will stand still and allow him 10 free hits. He explains that he doesn't want Lin Zichen and his little fangirls to complain later that he was just bullying a smaller opponent. Lin Zichen happily accepts the offer. Wang Jinhei tells him to come at him with his full power. Without hesitation, Lin Zichen unleashes a single, devastating punch to his opponent's massive stomach. The force of the blow is so immense that it sends the enormous Wang Jinhei spinning through the air before he crashes hard onto the floor, knocked out cold. Both classes are left in stunned silence, which is quickly broken by a massive, tearful cheer from the elite class as they celebrate Lin Zichen's incredible victory. A few moments later, Wang Jinhei slowly begins to regain consciousness, completely disoriented. He groggily wonders where he is and what just happened, muttering that the outcome was completely illogical and unscientific. After Lin Zichen's victory, the second-year teacher approaches Yao Yuanfeng, the elite class's teacher. He remarks on how powerful Lin Zichen was, comparing his one-punch victory over Wang Jinhei to a former prodigy named Wu Tiancheng. Yao Yuanfeng replies that while Lin Zichen is strong, he isn't at Wu Tiancheng's level yet, explaining that Wu Tiancheng was a monster who terrified the principal as a first year. Overhearing the name, Lin Zichen walks over and asks his teachers who Wu Tiancheng is. Yao Yuanfeng excitedly explains that Wu Tiancheng was a legendary student from a few years ago. As a first year, he single-handedly defeated the entire third-year elite class, shocking the school leaders. The teacher continues by listing Wu Tiancheng's incredible stats as a first year, a 100-meter dash in 6.12 seconds, a 3.96-meter vertical jump, and a 650-kilogram one-handed barbell lift. He asks Lin Zichen if he is impressed. Lin Zichen smiles nervously and admits he is a little impressed. However, he internally thinks Wu Tiancheng's feats were only on par with the strength he possessed during his 6th grade summer vacation. That night, the class celebrates their victory at a restaurant. Teacher Yao Yuanfeng holds up a soda for a toast. He joyfully announces that because Lin Zichen secured their win, the second-year teacher had to honor their bet and pay for everyone's feast. The entire class raises their glasses, cheering for Lin Zichen's performance. During dinner, Lin Zichen is surrounded by his classmates, including Heiyu and Shu Rui, now famous in school. They are all eager to know his training secrets and add him on WeChat. Lin Zichen finds this new attention a bit strange. Amidst the chaos, he observes that Shen Qinghan hasn't changed. Worried he won't be able to eat, she quietly puts food on his plate. During the celebration, Shen Qinghan suddenly gets a shocked expression. Looking flustered, she quickly tells Lin Zichen she needs to go to the restroom and rushes away. As she leaves, Lin Zichen notes that while some things change, her urge to pee when nervous or excited has remained the same. In the restroom, 2 of their female classmates are gossiping. One complains about how Shen Qinghan fawns over Lin Zichen like a maid, always pouring his drinks and peeling his shrimp. The other agrees, questioning how someone with Shen Qinghan's lack of strength could have gotten into the elite class if not for being his sycophant. She cruelly adds that their relationship won't last, as the difference in their abilities is destined to drive them apart. Unseen, Shen Qinghan overhears their entire conversation and is visibly hurt. However, instead of hiding, she confronts them. With newfound determination, she firmly tells the startled girls that she is not a sycophant, she is his childhood friend. Later that evening, as they walk home, Lin Zichen notices she seems dejected and asks if something is wrong. Looking down sadly, Shen Qinghan confides in him. She explains her mother always said she would grow out of wetting her pants. However, she reveals with frustration that even now, she still has to wear diapers to bed every night. Looking up at him, she says she feels disabled, like she can't even control her own bladder. Lin Zichen looks at a distraught Shen Qinghan and firmly tells her she is not disabled. He gently places his hands on her shoulders to comfort her, explaining that her inability to control her bladder is actually a superpower that hasn't fully developed yet. Shen Qinghan looks up with wide, hopeful eyes, questioning if it's really a superpower. Lin Zichen confirms it, telling her that her natural talent in the water is a manifestation of this power. Intrigued, Shen Qinghan asks if his own amazing abilities are also because he has a superpower. Lin Zichen confidently replies that yes, just like her, he also has a superpower. Excited by the idea, Shen Qinghan wonders what kind of power she might have. Lin Zichen reassures her it will definitely be a very powerful one. However, their path is blocked. A special team in protective gear is cordoning off a building, and an officer with a megaphone instructs the public to stay back while they exterminate rats. Their attention is drawn to the chaos inside. A man in an apron frantically swings a broom at a swarm of large rats, trying to fend off the exterminators. He screams at the officers to stop, pleading with them not to kill his brothers. His face twists in agony and rage as he continues to scream. Consumed by fury, the man charges at the officers, yelling that he will fight them to the death. Watching the scene, Shen Qinghan asks Lin Zichen if the man has gone crazy. Lin Zichen agrees, suggesting he might be mentally ill, though he finds the situation pitiful. He tells her that's just how some people are and that they should go home. Later that night, at Lin Zichen's house, he and his parents are watching a troubling news report. The anchor announces that a young female teacher went missing last week and is still not found. His mother, Zhang Wangshan, expresses her alarm, noting this is the 4th young woman to disappear this month. His father, Lin Yansheng, corrects her, stating it is the 5th. The report continues, showing photos of the missing women, all young and attractive. It issues a public warning for young women to avoid going out alone at night. Worried, Zhang Wangshan tells her son he must not let Shen Qinghan go anywhere by herself. Lin Zichen smiles and promises to look after her. Meanwhile, at a public security office in Shanghai City, the man from the market has been taken into custody. A doctor in a lab coat is speaking with a police officer. The officer asks for the doctor's opinion, wondering if the man is mentally ill. The doctor replies he isn't certain, explaining that he has tried to communicate with the suspect, but the man has remained completely silent. The officer finds this strange, saying the man was screaming non-stop at the market earlier. Suddenly, the officer's eyes widen with a terrifying realization. Both he and the doctor whip their heads around to look at the man, who is now hunched over, surrounded by a dark, menacing aura. Before their horrified eyes, the man begins to transform, mutating into a monstrous, giant, aberrant rat. As the creature grows, the terrified officer screams into his radio, frantically calling for backup and requesting a cyborg team, yelling that the person in the interrogation room is turning into a giant, aberrant beast. The giant, aberrant rat rampages. A police squad opens fire, but the bullets barely slow it down. As the officers retreat, a female officer reports that headquarters confirmed all cyborgs are deployed on other missions. The director adds grimly that support won't arrive for 10 minutes and their ammunition won't last that long. Realizing they can't fight it head-on, the director orders his team to their car. Their new plan is to lure the monster into the suburbs to buy time. The female officer jumps into a police van and starts the engine, while another officer braces himself inside. They speed through the city with the giant rat in hot pursuit, leaping between buildings. The female officer urges them to go faster to give the cyborgs more time. The van races up a mountain road and into a tunnel, but the beast is relentless. It closes the distance with a terrifying roar, its massive tooth-filled maw open. The monster slams into the back of the van, causing it to lose control, flip violently through the air, and crash. Inside the overturned van, the female officer hangs upside down, injured. With a look of despair, she thinks that in the end, they still couldn't make it. Just as the giant aberrant rat roars in triumph over the wrecked van, a massive explosion engulfs it. Help has arrived. A female cyborg with short purple hair and sleek armor. Hovering in the air, she locks on and unleashes a barrage of powerful purple missiles. The projectiles slam into the monster, creating a series of fiery explosions as she gives the command to kill. After the smoke clears, the cyborg lands on the crater-filled road. She finds a large tunnel and realizes the rat escaped by digging its way out, noting the beasts seem to be getting smarter. However, she sees shredded flesh and blood on the ground and concludes the creature is seriously injured and couldn't have gotten far. She decides she has a good chance to track it down. The scene shifts to the city skyline at 3 a.m. In his room, Lin Zichen is at his computer, not training, but writing. He reflects on his progress as a web novel author. He has written daily for over half a month, and his novel is now nearly 200,000 words. More importantly, his paid income has already surpassed 10,000 won. He thinks about the novel's future potential, noting it is still in the new book period. He eagerly wonders how much money he will make once it is officially launched. Too excited about his novel's income to sleep, Lin Zichen decides to train. He finds a deserted, unsurveilled alley to test his recent efforts. As he practices, he is pleased with his progress. His 100-meter sprint time has dropped to an incredible 3.43 seconds, and his vertical jump has reached 7.22 meters. He feels that if he continues improving at this rate, he will eventually achieve a saintly body. His training is interrupted by an unsettling gnawing sound. He turns and sees a shadowy figure hunched in a dark corner. The figure is a grotesque, rat-like creature, a mouseman. It is chewing on a human arm. Noticing Lin Zichen, the creature begs for its life, pleading for forgiveness and explaining it was just too hungry. It strangely promises that once full, it will come and pay its respects every year. Lin Zichen stares in horror, recognizing the creature as a mouseman. He immediately connects this sight to the news report about the giant mutant rat that escaped. He wonders with dawning dread if this creature is that same beast, now in a more humanoid, but no less monstrous form. Realizing the extreme danger, Lin Zichen decides he must inform the police. However, as he turns to leave, the mouseman panics, thinking he is its next meal. It stammers that it doesn't have to eat him and can go find others to devour instead. Before Lin Zichen can react, the creature springs into action. It leaps off the alley walls with blinding speed, ricocheting from side to side in a series of lightning-fast jumps. The mouseman lunges at him, screaming it wants to eat human meat as hunger overrides its fear. The attack is so fast that Lin Zichen realizes there is no time to dodge. With no other option, he faces the monster head-on. As the creature closes in, Lin Zichen meets its charge with a single, devastating kick to its jaw. The impact sends the mouseman spinning through the air before it crashes hard to the ground. The beast struggles to its feet, clutching its bleeding chest. It stares at Lin Zichen in disbelief, wondering how a weak-looking student could possess such overwhelming strength. Stunned and injured, the mouseman stares back at Lin Zichen, shocked by his unexpected power. Before it can recover, a rock suddenly flies through the air and slams into its head. Seizing the advantage, Lin Zichen gives the monster no chance to retaliate. He unleashes a furious storm of rocks, throwing them with incredible speed and precision. The mouseman is completely overwhelmed by the relentless assault, unable to defend itself as the rocks pummel its body. After a few moments, the onslaught stops. Lin Zichen stands at the end of the alley, breathing heavily. He watches the spot where the creature fell, noticing it is no longer moving. He approaches cautiously and finds his attack was more devastating than he imagined. The mouseman is obliterated, reduced to a steaming pile of skeletal remains. Wondering if the creature was truly dead, Lin Zichen touches the pile of bones. A surge of blue energy flows into him, and a system notification confirms he has devoured a trace of the giant mutant rat's life source, increasing his codex progress to 7%. He is disappointed to only absorb 2% this time, compared to the 5% from the scorched corpse. He theorizes the difference is due to the varying amount of Rat King gene each heretic had consumed. Realizing it was nearly morning and unsafe to stay, he heads home. Moments after he leaves, the purple-haired female cyborg lands in the empty alley. She stands over the steaming bones, wondering who could have killed the Rat Man. The scene shifts to a dark building where a sinister ritual is happening. A hooded cultist carries an unconscious woman to a large, glowing red summoning circle. He places her in the center and kneels, offering her to his Lord Rat God to enjoy. From the darkness, menacing, multi-lensed red eyes glare back. A deep, angry voice questions why there is only one woman, accusing the cultist of trying to starve it. The voice complains the offering isn't even a mouthful and threatens to make the cultist part of the sacrifice. The cultist prostrates himself in terror, desperately begging to explain. Still on the floor, the terrified cultist explains that young women have become cautious lately, rarely going out at night and always traveling in groups, making them hard to capture. The massive, shadowy rat god looms over him, its deep voice commanding that if women are too difficult, he should catch young men instead. The cultist immediately agrees. Suddenly, a large, bloody chunk of raw meat is thrown onto the floor. The cultist greedily grabs it and begins to devour it raw, thanking his Lord Rat God for the blessing. As he eats, the ritual reaches its gruesome climax. Massive red tentacles emerge from the summoning circle, wrapping around the unconscious woman and lifting her into the air. The monstrous, multi-eyed maw of the rat god opens wide and devours her whole. Sounds of chewing and crunching echo through the building. After its meal, the Lord Rat God gives one final, chilling order. It tells the cultist not to capture ordinary people next time, complaining their meat is too bitter. The entity declares it wants to eat nobles who live in luxury, believing their meat will be more tender. To help Shen Qinghan improve her martial arts grades, Lin Zichen holds special training sessions with her at her house. During one session, he acts as her personal coach, correcting her form. He adjusts her arm, stance, and shoulders, explaining how to generate more power and maintain better balance. Once her posture is corrected, he tells her to attack him with her full strength. She lunges at him with a determined punch. Lin Zichen easily catches her fist, praising her for the precise angle and improved power. He also catches her follow-up kick, pointing out a flaw in her form and demonstrating the correct technique by physically moving her leg into the proper position. After the intense session, an exhausted and sweaty Shen Qinghan collapses onto the floor. She catches her breath, telling him that even though she is exhausted, she can feel her martial arts strength has genuinely improved. Still kneeling on the floor, a motivated Shen Qinghan tells Lin Zichen that training 3 times a week isn't enough and asks if they can do it every day. Lin Zichen tells her that isn't necessary, explaining her body couldn't handle a daily high-intensity regimen. Shen Qinghan agrees and decides to stick with their current schedule. Just then, Lin Zichen's phone buzzes. As he takes it out, Shen Qinghan leans in curiously, asking if it's a special news report. He looks at the screen and sees 2 major headlines. The first announces that the Jishin Corporation will provide free treatment for former mechanical prodigy girls left disabled by early mechanical modifications. The second, more shocking report reveals a genius from Beijing University has successfully fused with the 1,000-threaded spider beast gene, breaking the record for the youngest person to undergo a dual gene fusion. Lin Zichen's eyes widen as he reads the second story, immediately realizing this genius must be the same prodigy from the capital he has been competing with for years. Most people cannot undergo gene fusion until adulthood, as a younger body can't withstand the backlash from beast genes and risks severe mutation. However, this prodigy has now successfully undergone a second gene fusion at the young age of 18. Lin Zichen is left to ponder the prodigy's incredible physical talent and wonder if gene fusion is indeed the best path to power. At his house, Lin Zichen is busy with his new career as a web novel author. Thanks to his incredible writing speed, his novel is an instant hit. The comment section is filled with readers amazed by his output, with one calling him a tentacle monster for posting 50,000 words on the first day. Lin Zichen reflects that with his use in advance and celestial root of wisdom attributes, a month of practice allows him to type at 10,000 words per hour. This efficiency means writing takes only about an hour a day, leaving him plenty of time for training. His father, Lin Yansheng, enters and praises his success. He estimates that if Lin Zichen maintains a stable plot and a 10,000-word daily pace, he could earn around 50,000 yuan in his first month. He adds that once the novel's word count grows, making 100,000 yuan a month would not be a problem. Lin Zichen is thrilled. With an income of 50 to 100,000 yuan a month, he will no longer have to worry about funding his quest to unlock the exotic beast codex. He sets a firm goal. He will use his first 2 months' fees to finally unlock the savage giant eagle codex. The scene shifts to his martial arts class, where the teacher, Yao Yuanfeng, announces a sparring session to assess progress. Lin Zichen's overwhelming power is on full display. He completely crushes the field, effortlessly defeating every opponent with powerful kicks and punches. No one lands a single hit on him. After the session, his teacher presents him with his prize money. Lin Zichen reflects on the successful day, pleased that he not only earned another 888 yuan, but also gained crucial experience points toward his survival of the fittest achievement. While Lin Zichen dominated, Shen Qinghan's results were not as stellar. As usual, she ranked last. Her friend Chu Rui tries to comfort the dejected girl. However, her training with Lin Zichen has clearly paid off. She now has the ability to fight back. A flashback shows her previous match against Wen Yuntong, the second worst student in the class, where she was defeated in under 3 seconds. This time, Shen Qinghan held her ground for nearly 3 minutes. More impressively, she actively traded blows, landing several punches and kicks. Her martial arts teacher, Yao Yuanfeng, was very impressed by her progress. He praised her hard work and encouraged her to keep it up. With the sparring session concluded, the teacher gathered the class and made a new announcement. He declared that in 1 month, their class would challenge the elite class of the second years, setting an ambitious goal for them to take down every student except for their top 3 fighters. The class roared back in confident agreement. The teacher was pleased with their fighting spirit. A month passes quickly. Lin Zichen's web novel has been a massive success, and he checks his bank account to see a balance of 89,000 yuan. With his new funds, he immediately heads to the supermarket to finally buy the beast meat he needs. He tells the female employee at the counter he would like to purchase some savage giant eagle meat. The employee informs him of a special promotion. If he buys 100 jin all at once, he will receive a 5% discount. After a moment of thought, Lin Zichen decides to hold off on the purchase for now. He concludes it would be more strategic to wait until he has saved up enough to buy all 100 jin at once to take advantage of the discount, figuring he will likely have enough by the following month. The next day at school, Shen Qinghan excitedly tells Lin Zichen the cafeteria has a new stir-fry counter and she has heard the chef's dishes are delicious. He agrees to go with her. They arrive at the counter where several chefs are busy and both are impressed by the amazing aroma. After getting their food, they sit down at a table. Lin Zichen comments that it was a good thing they arrived early as a long line has already formed. Their meal is interrupted by a loud argument in the line. One student accuses another of cutting, but the second claims his desk mate was saving his spot. The argument escalates, with the first student insisting saving a spot is still cutting, and the second becoming defiant. Shen Qinghan recognizes one of the voices and points out to Lin Zichen that their friend, He Yu, is the one arguing. She asks if they should check on him. Lin Zichen glances over and calmly tells her it probably isn't necessary, observing that He Yu has an aggressive presence and seems to have already scared the other guy off. Lin Zichen's assumption is incorrect. The student He Yu was arguing with stands his ground, looking down at He Yu with a condescending expression and calling him a punk. He Yu finds himself surrounded as the student is joined by his friends. The leader of the group asks He Yu what his deal is. One of the other bullies smugly states they have no deal. They are simply cutting in line. Enraged, He Yu yells at them to get to the back of the line. He is shocked by their audacity and realizes he is outnumbered. Despite this, He Yu tries to hold them back, spreading his arms to block them. He wonders why no one in the crowded cafeteria is stepping in. From their table, Shen Qinghan watches with concern, pointing out to Lin Zichen that their friend He Yu is being bullied. Just as the bullies are about to push past He Yu, a hand clamps down on the leader's shoulder. It is Lin Zichen, his face shadowed and intimidating. He calmly tells the student to please line up properly. The bully turns around and confronts Lin Zichen with a smirk, defiantly asking what he can possibly do about it if he refuses. Instead of escalating the fight physically, Lin Zichen responds with a sly grin. He pulls out his phone and coolly informs the bully that he will report him. The bully leader scoffs at the threat, calling reporting shameful. With Yu smirking beside him, Lin Zichen coolly retorts that he finds cutting in line even more shameful. Unwilling to be reported, the group of bullies gives up and walks away in frustration. The scene shifts to a luxurious villa in a wealthy district of Shanghai City, where the rat god cult is holding a secret meeting. Their leader, a man in a black hooded robe, sits on a throne-like chair and addresses his followers. He announces that one of their members, Sha Qiang, is dead, explaining that he went crazy at the market and was killed after provoking the security squad. Another cultist mutters that it is good riddance. The leader then introduces a new young man who will be taking Sha Qiang's place. He relays a new, chilling order from their Lord Rat God. From now on, they must only capture and sacrifice noble elites, as their god finds ordinary people to be too bitter. This new directive causes concern. Two members speak up, arguing that capturing nobles is too risky. They reason that while a missing ordinary person might be overlooked, a missing noble would cause serious trouble. The cult leader suggests they target the sons of rich but powerless merchants to lower the risk. He then turns his attention back to the newcomer. He instructs him that, as he is new, he should not go after nobles yet. Instead, he is to practice by capturing a handsome young man as a sacrifice to one of the rat god's subordinates. The newcomer, his face hidden in the shadows of his hood, confidently accepts the mission, promising he will not just find any handsome man, but will offer the most handsome man in the entire city to the divine child. In the classroom, Yu is still fuming about the cafeteria. He tells Lin Zichen he investigated the students who cut in line and discovered they are from Class 3 of the second year, the same top honors class they are scheduled to challenge. Yu can't believe students from an elite class could be so rude. Leaning against the lockers, Lin Zichen looks at his phone and remarks that good grades don't mean a person has good manners. His expression shifts as a news alert catches his eye. He reads that another wealthy heir has gone missing, the fifth recently. Knowing the kidnappers haven't asked for ransom and remembering the rat god cult's order to capture nobles, Lin Zichen grimly concludes the cult is behind these disappearances. The day of the competition arrives, and students gather in a large gym with 2 fighting rings. Tension between the classes is high, as the students who bullied Yu glare at him, and Yu makes a defiant gesture in return. After both classes warm up, the sparring matches begin. Just as she did last time, Shen Qinghan takes the first fight. Her opponent, a senior from the honors class, immediately attacks with a fierce kick. Shen Qinghan blocks the strike, but the senior's power is too great. Her defense is broken, and she is knocked to the ground, defeated. The senior is formidable, as other first-year girls, including Chu Rui, are also swiftly defeated one by one without landing a single hit. The first year's losing streak is broken when a muscular, short-haired girl defeats the senior with a powerful kick. However, this victory is short-lived. The next senior, a girl with long red hair, immediately seizes control. She is an overwhelming opponent, defeating 9 first-year students in a row in less than 10 minutes, including 3 boys. The first-year class is now down to its last 4 fighters: Lin Zichen, Wang Xiujie, Lu Gang, and Yu. The situation is bleak, as the second-year honors class has only lost 5 students, all girls. A staggering 36 of their students, none of them boys, have yet to fight. Their teacher, Yao Yuanfeng, clenches his fist, feeling the gap in strength is hopeless. With limited options, Yao Yuanfeng tells Yu it is his turn, asking if he can take out the 6 remaining girls on the opposing team. Yu confidently agrees, declaring it will be easy, particularly motivated by fighting more attractive female seniors. True to his word, Yu handles the matches with ease and successfully knocks all 6 remaining girls out of the ring. With the female fighters defeated, the second-year class's first male student enters the ring with a threatening stomp. He strikes a menacing pose and asks Yu if he is ready to die. Yu retorts that his opponent has no manners. Recognizing the student as a bully from the cafeteria, Yu believes he's a pushover and sees a perfect chance for revenge. Yu's confidence is misplaced as the bully rushes him with surprising speed. Before Yu can react, the senior lands a powerful punch to his stomach. Yu collapses to his knees, stunned. The bully taunts him for being weak and tells him to admit defeat. Enraged, Yu struggles to his feet and throws a punch, but his opponent easily dodges and counters with a swift kick that sends Yu flying out of the ring, defeated. Lying on the ground, He-yu realizes with pain that his opponent's strength is far from the lowest among the boys, and curses himself for letting his guard down. Having defeated He-yu, the senior bully turns to Lin Zichen, who is standing by the ring. He mockingly asks if Lin Zichen still wants to medal and challenges him to a fight. Lin Zichen gracefully leaps into the ring, internally noting that he was hoping for this chance. His classmates erupt in cheers, shouting for their brother Chen to crush his opponent and avenge He-yu for his shameful behavior. The match begins, and the bully, Chi-Yue, rushes at Lin Zichen with a high kick. Lin Zichen, however, is unfazed. He effortlessly blocks the kick with one hand, then grabs Chi-Yue's leg and slams him headfirst into the ring floor with incredible force. The impact knocks Chi-Yue out cold. Lin Zichen stands over him for a moment before casually kicking his unconscious body out of the ring. The second-year students are in stunned disbelief. One points out that Chi-Yue is one of the top 5 strongest fighters in their class, yet he was taken out instantly. They can't comprehend how a junior could be so powerful. Watching from the sidelines, their teacher Yao Yuanfeng concludes that Lin Zichen must be hiding a great deal of his true power. Lu Gong and Wang Shuojie are equally horrified, wondering if he is even human. Lin Zichen turns to the remaining second-year male students and calmly asks who's next. Their faces contort in fear, terrified by the display. 30 minutes later, the outcome is decided. All 29 remaining students from the second-year class lie defeated. Standing over the last opponent, Lin Zichen wonders about his progress toward his survival of the fittest achievement. A system notification informs him his total count of opponents eliminated is now 119 out of 1,000. He looks at the number with disappointment, realizing the progress is far too slow. He reflects that in every class sparring session, he is always the last to fight, and he decides this slow pace cannot continue. Concluding his strength has far surpassed the high school level, he sees no reason to follow their rules anymore and resolves to make the rules himself. The following Monday, a shocked shout is heard from the principal's office. Inside, the principal of Shanghai High stares at Lin Zichen in disbelief, asking if he truly wants to hold a personal challenge match with rewards. Lin Zichen confirms his request, boldly stating that he wants to challenge the entire school.